Hello. Yeah, so basically today I am doing a video on Noir Nerd, who has a YouTube channel, as well. I think it's his YouTube channel Noir Vortex. So yeah, basically my arm candy for today is Mr. Godber. Um so I've followed his work for a while now. I have his book as well. Um, and yeah, I learned a lot from his channel about a subject that um, I don't really know much about, or actually that I found quite difficult learning about. So it could possibly be as well um, because he describes himself as an art engineer. So that kind of makes web development seem more accessible. Uh, yeah. Oh, also, I got like Hello Kitty slippers. I thought I should share that with the world because um, yeah, they're just like really cute, but they don't fit in my camera. So yeah, sorry, my voice is just going weird. I just like my stress levels just. So basically, yeah, this is actually his book called Pandora. I'm going to put also like all the links of the projects that he has worked on that I just think are like very beneficial and informative to this description for the video. So yeah, my kind of like the video that impressed me the most is, if I can go to it, his web and WebXR developer portfolio 2021. So basically, my understanding of it, or my interpretation as an artist, it's basically a post-war bunker art gallery. So kind of when you enter, because I mean, even though it's got like that video game vibe, it's much more like cinematic almost, or it's just kind of like a space to go to. And to be honest, because things like, I mean, I feel like have almost like been warlike, it's just a really nice place to retreat, you know, like, or I find myself like, oh yeah, like this is a space where I feel like there's some sort of an understanding um, because uh, things have been that bad. So yeah, I'll play some of the music of it. It's just really interesting. I think it's like quite a modern take of kind of what more of a realistic artistic place should be like, possibly because of the protest outside of galleries, because of like military funding and things like that. Then we have to question, like, you know, what is good for society? What is it when you have actual technology like preventing things from happening, etc. So yeah, basically that's the vibe I get from it. So let me play some of the music. Yeah, it's like very like cyberpunk. Sorry, I don't know how to screen share. But yeah, basically there are paintings from like loads of different eras in one space, and the setting obviously of these paintings is not an art gallery, and the format of like how the paintings are displayed is very different. Um, Also, obviously, the security for the art gallery isn't what we would see in a normal art gallery. It's like a really dodgy looking guy. at some sort of like almost Comic-Con type stand, is the impression that I get. So yeah, anyway. Yeah, I just found it like a kind of like a good place to retreat to as somebody with um, quite severe anxiety. Yeah. So, um, in kind of contrast, I guess, to like my style of interior design, what I found as well, because it's nice to see something like this because it's just a different palette of like shades that I don't have. Like I quite like I have a drawer, for instance, that has like Michelangelo um paintings like printed on it. So it's much more like a heavenly Bible, like more light. Whereas this is like very dark, um kind of like dark black and green vibe to it. Um so yeah, that's what I found like interesting. Um Also, there's a space in there. I think there's like a shelf with just a shape of what's supposed to be a box on it. So basically, with regards to the book, then I started thinking like, oh, what would go well with the Pandora um, book? So I kind of like put it next to like my Austin Osman Spare Grimoire book. So it's got like magical arcana of images and interpretations of them that I think like really kind of goes well with the Pandora book. I like the blurb of it as well because I did find it difficult. Like some of it was a bit dense for me to go through, but some of it I really liked. So yeah, Pandora is a compilation of writings which explore our modern relationship to our culture, ourselves, and technology. And, ever-evolving and complex world where the shifting shapes of art and technology continue to shape our collective destinies. And I just like that, like in contrast to kind of like the war contrast, like when you have art and then you have war, and like do the two can't go together, and kind of like the shapes inside it that restore what would seem um, as a style of a certain time that appears like on a blank canvas, like to distort an image, basically. So yeah, that's why I do find it like quite interesting, and I think it would just go really well with something like because it's funny, like even the language that we use today, like this is the two grimoires in this book is first the Focus of Life and the Papyrus of Amen Aos, and this was like before computers, but they were still using like quite a few like signifiers uh, that like we don't even really utilize today. So yeah, and then I think there's just like one segment in here that I just felt like went really well or contrasted with the Pandora book. So it says, yes, it is my belief that many years later we find a primary cause at the heart of several of his magical stelae and similar pictures. Here, though, instead of a sinuous line of this earlier bookwork, we have a configuration of lines and angles. Examples of this can be seen in the 1954 stele for protection from evil people. So a stele is like a form of recording that you have like on a stone or a piece of wood. So it's almost like um, a sign rather than like like a written book. But instead of like that understanding, so it's like where its place would be like this is where to ward off like evil and stuff, and then that is like purely why it's magical, because of its meaning. And obviously, you know, like this isn't something that we use today, even though we probably should. I mean, obviously we have like different forms of technology, but you know, I think it's a good practice because, oh my god, you know, would it be useful? Yeah, probably. So yeah, moving on. I'm tired. So basically, another one of my favorite projects. I like the video projects. His most recent one is converting a Playcanvas project to Windows.exe with Electron tutorial. So the reason why I liked this project, even though once again I don't have the technological whatever, I have a literature background. I tried to learn recently more about technology, but I don't know that much. So yeah, I just really liked like almost like it gave me the vibe or like a setting of being in a future kind of like government, with like the different format of like script and stuff that I just don't see necessarily in quite a lot of different like how to understand like web development videos. So yeah, like it's just, I don't know, like it just like it took me into, like it gave me ideas, like it took me into a different setting where like I don't know, like I started like seeing like, oh like I don't know, like thinking, oh my god, I could be like in a futuristic government where they're detecting like, you know, bodies that have been left like underneath like channels and different like streams, and you know, like all this kind of detective, I don't know, like just a government vibe. Like I like the style of that kind of thing. So basically, yeah, it does sound like a completely different language, and I think obviously like people have like their own intonations and everything. So now because now we have like signatures to like how we even speak or like how to identify it. So this is why I did think like I just saw things like that I don't see in like security systems nowadays, because I think we're always told to accept that like the security system is the way it is, and like, you know, like not like we don't have, you know, we don't question necessarily the software or like the logical aspect of it. So this is why I really appreciated the imagery and an understanding of art. So it's like you see like different pupils, you see, you know, art and how what might give something value or not. So we do need that contrast as well, in that kind of, you know, whatever. And yeah, and other video was his console.log bracket coding nightmares, where there is like footage of what looks like some sort of like modern Russian wannabe like dictator, who is like typing away at his computer, and basically it looks like some sort of surveillance of it, like with the uh, with like Noir's image of it, and then there's like the headphones with like wire mesh on top of them. So it's just like it's a very different design. It's not, you know, it does make me think about like, you know, certain things. I just liked that kind of surveillance vibe to it. And yeah, I don't know why like These kind of videos have been kind of just putting me at ease in just moments of anxiety and whatnot, you know, because art is abstract that way. And yeah, another project that I found interesting was my Unreal Engine project. So that's another thing where it's like, oh, like, and that's a realistic way of thinking of how to create an engine for something that is actually not like real. So a lot of the time in maths, like it's quite unaccessible to get to the point of understanding how with numbers you could go about creating something that's unreal in a logical way. Um, whereas like with an engine and you know like when we have all these fantastical beliefs that we can't actually enact like because they don't have any real or truthful foundation, like then there's kind of, you know, I don't know, like I just like I definitely say I feel like inspired or I learned from this or I can like it has broadened my horizons in terms of like how I could go about creating projects or work and like actually understanding meaning in some regards, like which obviously can be found in a lot of things. Um, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, back to the book. I'm going to read one of the poems from the book. Um, yeah, sorry, just I have exhaustion because I mean, obviously, like I do like the horror genre, but I just get tired because having to work on my brain problems, like calming down, and then it's like, oh no, but like you know, utilize the power for like good and whatever. It's just difficult to make sense sometimes, and I just don't like. I don't have time to be conscientious of that. There are just better things to do anyway. Um, so yeah. So really cool sketches in here. Um, they're really nice. And yeah, like one of the poems that like I felt like reading out loud is "The Black Dog Keeps Guard." I can feel my heart dying, its pulse becomes weaker as I lay in this filth. My life I understand to be man, I must kill my heart, raise it like a main god, and give it into the grave. It can end no other way, I am a dog, not a man. So yeah, once again, just like the war bunker situation, this also like I feel like I, I don't know, I could definitely like understand it because yeah, like you know, I mean, obviously we're living in a world where we have to have people trained to be like psychologists and brain surgeons to like literally like operate on people's brains to stop like certain neural pathways and types of behavior, and like we still aren't that advanced in like knowing just how like you know human we are, like or even how much research has gone into that topic. So yeah, you know, like I definitely wouldn't have minded actually, you know, obviously that isn't the time necessarily, like it's a finished project. But yeah, I wouldn't have minded editing it. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely think it would, like, you know, not like, you know, I think because also like I sell paper, like, just we don't need this size type font and like a different layout would just like give it more of a, but it's still really good. And yeah, like I'm really happy that I've got a copy of this. And I think I'm gonna just like accompany it with these two because I just like the idea of um, like combining different schools of thought together. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna link all of this. I really hope that I haven't like missed out like good points that I wanted to make. Like it is annoying when that happens. Um, but yeah, like thank you, dude. Like that's really nice. Um, yeah, I really just tried to think a lot about kind of what my understanding is of it. Once again, obviously, you know, as somebody like who doesn't is like I'm not in like from the perspective of a different career path. Um, but yeah, either way, uh, yeah, I really like the cyberpunk style, and it gave me a lot of ideas. Oh my god, yeah, there was another thing. I really liked as well another video where I think it was like interior game design almost, where like the house was practically like a maze. Another one of these almost like alien um, deserted wall zone thing, but it's like a maze with inside um, and parts of like the planetary system going across the walls. So it really actually like tries to make, I think, the viewer understand um, the complex nature of design and architecture, um, because obviously like we utilize it in a very, you know, we box people away in these boxes and stuff. So we have like this century we have like such a rigid way of design, like we like, you know, things are like cemented, we can't move, like that's the way that things are done. And you know, it's very difficult as well to have any fast-paced change, um, or implementing these ideas, obviously apart from with a virtual method. So yeah, I think I covered everything that I found would be good. Oh, I also I did like, I, you know, it's interesting because obviously like the language and the poetry and stuff, but I liked the bite me um like first kind of like sign of the portfolio and whatnot. And yeah, once again, you know what I mean. Like I don't understand. There isn't this requirement of like these sort of portfolios necessarily in like other careers. So um, yeah, it's awesome. I love art. So yeah, I will always try and support it. And yeah, thank you, Chris, for sharing your work with us. That is awesome. And yeah, have a lovely day, people. God, I tried so much with my eyeliner, like hours this morning. So this was the final star, and even then, it's just a bit off, but it's okay. I need to, you know, relax a bit. Yeah. So